Hey everybody, it's Alan, and today I'm going to start a series on my narrow leaf ficus bonsai. And a lot of these, I made the joke in other videos that I've taken of these trees of premature bonsai potting. So I took a tree in training and put it in a bonsai pot probably too early, but some of them have really grown very beautifully. And this is a very nice tree. It's in a very dark, almost black glazed rectangle with curved corners, and it has a very nice trunk. It has a very large cutback right here that you can see, and then another cutback right there, and that is what has created the movement. And it's really just a little too bushy. I really like the form. It does have one flaw that I'm a little concerned about, because it has a very large root right there coming right at us. But in the future that could be reduced, or I could, thinking very seriously, that I could make this the front very easily. But for now we're going to go with this as the front. And I'm just going to reduce some of the growth. So I'm pretty traditional stylist. So I want my first main branch and my second main branch to be at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, with at least half the trunk and even 2/3 of the trunk clear so you can see the movement. So right now on this branch here we have two competing branches, and one is almost exactly at that 2 o'clock position, and the other one is coming almost 90 degrees. So I'm going to take off the back one. Then if you see, we have these two little pieces of growth right here. Certainly don't need those, so they come off too. And some of this growth in the front could also either come off or be shortened, and so now we can really see the trunk line nicely. And then the second main branch has a lot of smaller branches growing around it, so they all come off, because I do my bonsai very minimalist. I want as few branches as I can to create the form that I'm looking for. So get all of that small, and all those small branches coming off the trunk is a sign of a young tree. If you want your trees to really look old, you need to get rid of all of that stuff. Then we have a back branch here that is interesting, because if I was going to make this the front, this could very well easily be the apex. I could make this the apex, which would create much more taper. But for now it's going to be a back branch, so I'm going to take it off to about right there. Okay, and it's oozing typical ficus sap. And we have another branch right here. And there's also more smaller branches coming off the trunk, which can be removed. And take this guy off so it opens up the trunk line even more. And then, we've got the movement here and the movement here. And then the apex, if we're talking about this is the apex, that is all completely straight, coming straight up. And so that's a pretty long distance, especially with the movement that we've got here. So I am going to take it to right here. and create this as the apex up into here. And then I'm just going to give everything a little bit of a haircut. This guy here is pretty bushy, so we'll give him a haircut. The back branch could be reduced a little bit. And there we go. It's now so much more open. So much more minimal, which is the way I like it. And remove some of this stuff here. Remove some of this downward growing stuff here. And so we've got the beginnings, and actually I'm looking more like this is the apex right here. So I'm going to take and shorten this guy. So we're going to have awesome movement. It will be an informal upright, but it's approaching a formal upright too, as far as the look, but that's okay. So there we go. That's the first one of a number of ones that I quote-unquote prematurely potted. But I'm liking this tree. I'm enjoying the development. And if I'm not mistaken, I featured this tree in adventitious buds, because if we look really closely here, you'll see a lot of little scars, all a bunch of little scars. And what happened was, when I did a major reduction like this on this tree, all those little incidental branches, like these little guys, they popped everywhere. Just boom, it became a cousin it. And narrow leaf ficus will do that. And so all those little scars are branches that I allowed to grow a little bit long and then removed. So that scarring kind of adds to the look of age of the trunk. And you know, here's my hand. So this tree is maybe 7 inches high, 8 inches high, so it's not a big tree. But I'm enjoying it. And now I'm not going to let anything else grow incidentally in here. See another little chunker right there that I want to take away. Once it now has this shape, don't let anything sprout, because it may. And like I said, you can't keep it from sprouting, but what happens is when it does sprout, then you just remove it. So that's number one. And you know, I may just take this little tiny guy right here. So there you go. Narrow leaf ficus, a very tropical tree, as all ficus are. But this is probably my favorite for bonsai, because the leaves are naturally miniature. So if we take a look at the leaf size, that's about as big as they ever get. So leaf miniaturization is really not a big issue. As a ficus, they're very tough, they're very forgiving, pretty drought tolerant, but they also respond with a tremendous amount of growth with lots of water and fertilizer. They developed a really thick buttress trunk that is prized in bonsai circles, and they just do that all by themselves. There's not much you really need to do to get a nice thick trunk on a narrow leaf ficus. And because they sprout back on old wood, you can pick and choose whatever branches you want. So the styling that you like, you've got the branches to do the style that you want. So they're a fun tree and definitely one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorite tropicals, and probably my very favorite of all of my ficus. I have maybe 10 different species of ficus that I grow as bonsai, and the narrow leaf is by far my favorite. Just so easy to style. So that's it for this video, and I will send a link at the end of this video which includes this tree when I discuss adventitious buds, so you can look at that if you want. And if you haven't already subscribed, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell, and continue to watch this guy develop, which now the development will be pads. Pad, develop the apex a little bit more, and it should be a tree that's out into here somewhere, and with nice pads. And that won't take long, they grow fast. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.